Hey guys, it's Alex from 7th Hour Films, back again with Game of Thrones. Last time on Game of Thrones, we had Misa, where a bunch of crap happened. We had some tensions between Joffrey and Tywin. We got the full reveal of who's been torturing Theon. It's Ramsay Snow, the bastard son of Roose Bolton, who sent Balon Greyjoy Theon's penis. And so his sister is like, I'm going to go find him. Shay is a complication in the eyes of Varys. Arya killed a dude with the Hound and is possibly going to be going to Braavos. Stannis almost had Davos killed because he set Gendry free, but they realized that Davos has an important role. Jon made it back to the Night's Watch, and all the former slaves, emancipated slaves of Yonkai, basically came under the protection of Daenerys and called her Misa, which is mother. This is where I say no spoilers in the comments whatsoever. Let's stick to this episode and previous episodes that I've reacted to. In terms of the books, you can talk about the books. You don't need to talk about them too much, but if you mention the books, it's fine. As long as there's no spoilers for the show. And yeah, I look a little weird in this hoodie, don't I? Yeah. There. I'm going as Oliver Queen now. Alright. Probably screwed up my hair. Yeah, I'm not wearing an overshirt today, just my hoodie, so I've got that college kid look down. Yeah. Also, I'm kind of rushing through this a bit because it's late on a Thursday. It's late on Thursday night. I gotta get this going. And I was having some technical problems with my computer, which delayed this even further. Hooray! Also, because this is the first episode of the season, I am offering full length for free on this episode and this episode alone. This is where, the first episode of every season, I offer the full length for free. If you go down in the description or you go click on the link in the pinned comment down below, you can go find the full length reaction for free. You have to provide your own show footage. I've tried to sync it up as best as I can. And I've tried to make syncing footage very easy for you, very user-friendly. Hopefully it's good. And if you like full length, if you like watching my reactions full length, you can head over to my Patreon, and for $10 a month, you can... Oh God. You can have access to all of my full length reactions. So yeah, $10 a month. Go down, check it out if you have a copy. I suppose even if you don't have a copy, you can hear the show in the background, so if you know the episode well enough, I guess you don't need your own show footage, but it's always enhanced with show footage, so yeah, go check that out, and if you do, I'll see you guys there, and if you don't, then let's get going into this episode of Game of Thrones. Here we go. Is that ice? That's a big sword. That must be ice. Oh, was that Tywin? No, wait, what are you doing? Oh, are they melting down ice? The Rains of Castamere. That's what's playing. No, don't melt down ice. That's such a cool sword. It's so huge that it's so crazy that Ned Stark actually used that. Is that a wolf? What is happening? Ah, they love doing those cold opens. No dialogue in this one either.
We've wanted one of these in the family for a long time.
Well, now we have two.
Two?
The original weapon was absurdly large. Plenty of steel for two swords.
That's true.
Well, thank you.
That was a large sword.
There is a precedent to relieve a king's guard of his duties. The king will exercise that prerogative.
No.
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 He doesn't want to leave the King's
I don't
Guard.
believe I asked you a question.
That's my answer.
If you think you're bloody on.
The last time I was in the capital was many years ago. Another wedding. My sister Elia and Rhaegar Targaryen, the last dragon.
Oh.
My sister loved him. And beautiful, noble Rhaegar Targaryen left her for another woman. That
Lyanna.
started a war, and the war ended right here. When your father's army took the city,
Wasn't actually.
they butchered those children.
Oh.
My nephew and niece.
The remaining Targaryens. Yeah, that would make sense. That is what happened.
I don't know
But if the mountain killed my sister, your father gave the order. Tell your father I'm here.
That's true.
And tell him the Lannisters aren't the only ones who pay their debts.
Huh. Okay. Whoa. Huh. They're getting feisty.
Dragons, Khaleesi.
Yeah.
They could never be tamed,
I guess that's true.
not even by their mother.
They're teenagers and they're rebelling.
The honor of riding by your side on the road to Marine.
That honor goes to Sir Jorah and Sir Barristan, as neither of them kept me waiting this morning.
Yeah.
You two will ride in the rear guard and protect the livestock. The last man holding his sword can find a new queen to fight for.
Way to go. Way to go, new actor playing Dario Naharis.
Lemon cakes?
No, thank you.
She's still
I love
depressed about
lemon
Rob.
cakes. Tell her she needs to eat.
My lady, you do need to eat.
I don't want to eat.
You too. Go on.
She needs to eat.
Yeah, we got that part.
Your mother, on the other hand, I admired her. She wanted to have me executed, but I admired her.
It happens. She might be depressed this season. She'll get better later, I'm sure. Maybe. No one ever gets better in this show. They just sort of live with it.
Give me diamonds and make me disappear.
What in the world are you talking about?
If
Yeah.
you want me to leave, just say it. Say it!
Yeah. You don't need him. Dicks. Spy. Oh, a golden hand.
Not really. I'm surprised. Never let Pycelle near you.
I think I'd let that old lecher put his hands on me. Smells like a dead cat.
I'm not sure I've ever smelled a dead cat.
Oh, they smell like Pycelle.
Drink more than you used to.
Yes.
Why?
It's been a long
Let's
year,
see.
man.
You started a brawl in the streets with Ned Stark and disappeared from the capital.
What are you saying?
I'm saying you took too long.
Go
Come
away.
in.
Forgive me, Your Grace. You told me to come at once if there was anything important.
Leverage.
I fucking hate Thens.
What? Who? Fens? Whoa. Who's this dude?
Men said you.
He said next time I see you, you'll be all in black.
Oh, John got the word
I was
about.
jealous of Rob my whole life. He was better than me at everything.
That probably didn't help.
Fighting and hunting and riding. And girls. Gods, the girls loved him.
So you admit you murdered Corin Harvand?
Ah, this guy.
I lay with a wildling girl.
You admit to breaking your vows, then?
If we beheaded every ranger who lay with a girl, the wall would be manned by headless men.
There's a difference.
Have you ever been beyond the wall, sir?
I commanded the city watch of King's Landing, boy.
And now you're here. You must
Yeah.
not have been very good at your job.
How dare you?
There's a band of wildlings south of the
Oh
wall
yeah, that's the
already,
guy Tyrion
led by
fired.
Tormund Giantsbane.
You always know when a man is telling a lie. How did you acquire this magical power?
I grew up in King's Landing.
Yeah. Yeah, he did.
A shadow.
A shadow with the face of Stannis Baratheon.
That's what killed
I swear to
Renly.
you by all the gods.
Someone forgot to write down all your great deeds.
There's still time.
He's not
Is
dead
there?
yet.
For a 40-year-old knight with one hand? How can you protect me with that?
I use my left hand now, Your Grace. Makes for more of a contest.
They say 1,000 slaves died building the Great Pyramid of Marine.
Pyramid?
And now an army
Cool.
of former slaves is marching to her gates. You think the Great Masters are worried? If they're smart, Your Grace.
The Great Masters. I hope one of them's played by Jeff Goldblum.
But I need to speak to you about something important.
Alright, what?
Matter of strategy.
Go on.
Your Grace.
If you want them to follow you, you have to become a part of their world. Strategy.
Uh-huh.
Harpy's gold.
Oh my gosh.
No tea from this one. Beautiful, but poisonous.
You are really trying too hard. Oh.
There's one on every mile marker between here and Marine.
How many miles are there between here and Marine?
163, Your Grace.
Jeez.
I'll tell our men to ride ahead and bury them. You don't need to see this.
You will do no such thing.
So Dontos, the King's Name Day celebration. I'm sorry, I should have...
Oh.
I can't accept your apology.
That guy.
I may be a fool. I don't have anything else left. That's all. Take it. Wear it. Let my name have one more moment in the sun before it disappears from the world.
Alright.
We've got an aunt in the Vale, rich Aunt Lysa.
That's true.
After I sell you to her, maybe she'll have enough left over to buy you that pony you want so much.
She can go to the Vale, I guess.
You're hungry.
Perfect eye contact. Up. That. Yeah. Still. Still going.
And hungry. Think I'll take 2 chickens.
Oh my gosh.
I'm gonna have to eat every fucking chicken in this room.
You lived your life for the king.
So many chickens.
You're gonna die for some chickens.
Yeah.
Sonis.
Would you just give him a chicken already? Oh! Ah! Ah! Come on, Arya. Oh, oh. Make it disappear. Oh, 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 how do you film something like that? Ah, oh, okay.
I've got to carry you.
Carry me.
My little blade.
Ha. God. That is intense, man. Hey, she got her own horse. Sweet. Oh my gosh, Arya the killer. Whoa, where are they headed next? Alrighty. That's the end. That was awesome! Alrighty. That was good. That was an interesting season opening, season premiere. Maybe not as strong as the previous seasons, but that was still pretty good. Still pretty good, I gotta say. So, yeah. So let's just go over my notes. Obviously, it's how we roll here. The first thing I wrote down was ice. Man, that sucks that Tywin melted down ice into 2 different swords. Who did he give the other sword to, I wonder? Because because he did melt it down into 2 swords, and because he said, like, that sword was absurdly large, it was enough for 2. And he gave one of them to Jaime. I think it was a shorter sword, which is probably better for one-handed, but he did give the other sword, he did make another sword, so what was the other sword, I wonder? I don't know, but that does suck that he melted down ice. Like, honestly, I kind of wish, well, I don't know. It would make more sense if if ice was saved for the son of Tyrion and Sansa, because I suppose technically by right, ice belongs to Sansa. Maybe, I don't know if that's how swords work, but yeah, I don't know. I don't know. It's sad to see ice go. I've seen I know other reactors have like replicas of ice, like Blind Wave I know has a replica of ice. And God, it's a huge friggin' sword. And I've seen like the lore videos. Oh, I guess I should watch the season 3 lore video now. Sweet. I got something to do later. Yeah, I have seen the first 2 lore videos, and one of them talked about, I think it was when Robert and Ned faced the Iron Islands in battle, faced Balon Greyjoy, and just the way that it shows Ned Stark with his gigantic sword, like, it's crazy, just wham! And it's like, that is ridiculous. It is a ridiculous sword, but man, is it cool. And I know that Man-at-Arms Reforged, I think, they actually made ice, and that is so cool. Ice is awesome, man. But, so, yeah, sad to see ice go. That's kind of like losing a character, almost. Granted, it hasn't really had much use. I guess it was only used twice. First was by Ned Stark in the first episode, and the second was in episode 9 of season 1 when it was used to kill Ned. And since then, we haven't seen ice anywhere, so yeah. Still, sad to see ice go. I wrote down Jaime and the Kingsguard. I was wondering why he would stay in the Kingsguard, because it was kind of... Placing Jaime in the Kingsguard was sort of was really done against Tywin by Aerys, because, you know, and it was something, I don't remember the exact details, you can leave it in the comments. I somewhat remember it, but I don't remember the full details, but it was something like, Aerys wanted to get back at Tywin for something, I don't remember what. So he placed Jaime in the Night's Watch, or not the Night's Watch, the Kingsguard, similar to the Night's Watch, I suppose, because that meant that Jaime had to give up his inheritance. Basically, he was no longer the heir to Casterly Rock. So, yeah, I wonder if we're ever gonna get to see Casterly Rock in this. So yeah, so basically, finally, Tywin has the chance to undo this thing that Aerys did. Aerys? I think they've said Aerys before. King Aerys. I think it's like Aerys, like they pronounce Viserys. Yeah, I'm gonna say Aerys. Aerys Targaryen. So Tywin finally has the opportunity to undo this thing that King Aerys did out of spite, and Jaime refuses, which is interesting. And to be honest, the reason that he did does make sense, because he wants to be with Cersei, which I'm gonna go ahead and skip over a couple notes for a little bit and just go on to that scene where he explained himself to Cersei why he wants to stay with the Kingsguard, because he wants to stay in King's Landing with her. And it's also interesting that while they're talking, you know, they say like, well, Cersei's like, well, you have to take Casterly Rock. And Jaime says, Well, no, I don't. There's still Tyrion. I like that he acknowledges Tyrion like that, you know? And we haven't had much scenes with the two of them together. I mean, God, he was captured in season 1 or season 2, maybe? So, yeah, he's been gone for a long time, and he hasn't interacted with Tyrion pretty much. But it's interesting that it's like it doesn't even occur to him how much, like, Cersei and Tywin hate Tyrion. Like, just completely, he's like, well, Tyrion will take Casterly Rock. It's just kind of, that's just a fact to him. It's not even, and, you know, I'm not saying, like, you know, Jaime holds Tyrion in the highest opinion, but honestly, of all of Tyrion's family members, Jaime is the one that really doesn't have anything against him. You know? Yeah, the two of them they're okay, honestly. Cersei hates Tyrion, Tywin hates Tyrion, Joffrey hates Tyrion too, honestly. But Jaime doesn't really. I mean, I know there's that whole thing that Tyrion said where, because it was Jaime that set up the whole fake marriage thing with Tyrion. So there was that, but that was a long time ago. They don't have any beef really. So that's just interesting. And then, but it is obvious that Tywin wants to get Jaime out of the Kingsguard so he can take Casterly Rock, so that he doesn't give it to Tyrion, which is interesting. Yeah. I wrote down Prince Oberyn. Interesting character that kind of came out of nowhere, but yeah. We haven't really had much about the Martells, really. I do remember now that because they mentioned the Martells, I think it was last season. No. It was season 2, because it was when Tyrion was still Hand of the King, and because in his whole plot to figure out who on the small council was a spy for Cersei, he mentioned that he was going to marry off Marcella to some Martell. I don't remember specifically. I don't think it was Oberyn. So yeah, so they brought that up, and I guess that's what actually happened, because Cersei said, like, you know, I had to give up my daughter and send her to the Dawn, which is where the Martells are, and which is where Prince Oberyn is from. And it's also interesting to think that, you know, obviously no one likes the Lannisters. No one likes Tywin Lannister specifically. And you could have made, like, any sort of situation for Prince Oberyn to not like Tywin Lannister, but specifically that his older sister, presumably older, I suppose, but his sister was married to Rhaegar Targaryen, which that did kind of, I don't want to say came out of nowhere, but on the other hand, it kind of did, because I didn't know that. I never really thought about the fact that Rhaegar was married to someone else and had children, and that was this Martell princess, which is interesting. And once he said that, I was like, oh, okay. And then it's like, and then he said, like, do you know what happened to them? I was like, ooh, Tywin had them all killed. Because he's right. And he said, like, you know, it was said that the Mountain raped his sister and then killed her, like, cut her in half. Which, I wouldn't put it past the Mountain to do that. But if he did that, he did it on Tywin Lannister's orders. And we do know that Tywin Lannister ordered every Targaryen child killed. They were all executed, and the only two that escaped are Viserys and Daenerys. So yeah, so that's interesting, because it's interesting because that does bring the Targaryens back into the picture a little bit, because they're still part of this whole thing. Like, you know, we obviously get Daenerys in her scenes, but I feel like Westeros has almost forgotten about the Targaryens. Like, they don't really bring them up that often, and they're not really a problem because Daenerys is not even in Westeros yet. So, yeah. So, that was cool that this guy's backstory, through his sister, is then related to the Targaryens. Like, technically, by law, he was related to the Targaryens. But at the same time, he's not getting vengeance for the Targaryens. He's obviously getting it for his sister and her children, because he still mentioned that Rhaegar found another woman, Lyanna Stark, which is where the whole thing with Robert Baratheon came in. So yeah, it's a lot of... They brought in a lot of different, like, layers to this random character out of nowhere. Oh, excuse me, my voice is... it's late. My voice is... We still got some notes to go through. I wrote down Dragon Temper, because this is the first time that the dragons really, like, kind of went against Daenerys, but it is like Jorah said, they are still dragons. They cannot truly be tamed. Yes, when they were younger, they were definitely, just with her. Like, they all loved her and just did whatever she said. When she told them to fly, they flew. Anytime she said Dracarys, people started, bursting out into flames. But yeah, this is the first time where they're still animals, which is something I think Daenerys kind of forgot about. Because, they keep saying, like, well, you're their mother. You are the mother of dragons. They are your children. But you do have to remember they are still animals, which we had to be reminded of. So, yeah, that'll be interesting if we have any more of that moving forward. We might not, but who knows. I wrote down new Dario. I gotta say I like the actor better. A couple people in the last... It was either episode 8 or episode 9, but some people did mention that from season 4... Or in season 4, they recast Dario Naharis. And I don't really... I didn't see that as a spoiler. Some people did. Didn't really seem like a spoiler to me. Meh. But I'm kind of glad for it. Granted, they did say... They did make it work in this, because they could have just had a scene, he shows up, and you're left wondering, is that Dario? But they specifically say, where's Dario? He's with Grey Worm. Let's go look for him. There he is with Grey Worm. It's like, okay, so it's very obvious that... They make it plainly obvious that is supposed to be Dario. And honestly, I like him better. He's a little bit more charming. I thought the original actor was very, very smug. And the thought of him... And he was very slimy, too. So, like, the thought of him trying to woo Daenerys, like, ugh, that was horrible. This guy's a bit better. He's a bit more charming. He's got a bit more charisma to him that works better. So, I still don't want that to happen. I don't want any sort of romance between him and Daenerys, but at the same time, he's not the pretty boy anymore, and I'm okay with that, so... He's handsome. I'm not saying the actor they got isn't handsome, but he's not clearly supposed to be the pretty boy. Jaime and Cersei, we talked about that. I wrote down the new wildlings. So we have a new faction of the wildlings that seem to be more intense than the wildlings we have been following. So yeah, just the fact that they're cannibals, basically. They killed men of the Night's Watch and are going to eat them now. It's like, great. So, yeah, maybe there will be some conflict between Ygritte and... Oh, I don't remember the guy's name. The guy with the crazy hair and the long beard. That guy, I don't remember his name. Maybe you guys can tell me in the comments. But, yeah, so... Maybe there'll be some conflict between them and this new band that we're following. I didn't catch the main guy's name, but looked interesting. I wrote down the Night's Watch. Man, we have not seen Sir Alistair Thorne since season 1, basically. Like, he was there in season 1. He clearly hated Jon. And then he was sent off to King's Landing to find more recruits on the orders of the Lord Commander. And they kind of mentioned that too. It's like, well, I got him out of here for a while, so there won't be any conflicts. It's like, so that's good. But unfortunately, with Lord Commander Mormont dead, that does mean that Alistair Thorne is the acting commander, which sucks because he does have it out for Jon. He hated Jon completely, and he probably still hates Jon. But at the same time, he can't ignore what Jon is saying. And I do like that Maester Aemon is on Jon's side. Like, he's basically protecting Jon. Because they have every right to execute him. He did break his vows. Yes, you could argue he broke his vows when he killed Corran, but at the same time, that was the entire plan. You can make an argument that he doesn't need to be executed for that. However, he did lay with a woman, as they say, and that does break the oath of the Night's Watch. Sam didn't do that. You know, yes, he brought a woman and a baby, and they were like, is that your baby? Did you break your vows? And he was like, no, this is not my baby. This is Craster's wife, basically, daughter wife. So Sam didn't break his vows. Jon did. They have every right to execute Jon, but Maester Aemon is clearly on his side and wants to keep him alive. Maybe because he thinks that Jon is just better for the Night's Watch, and maybe he thinks, like, we need all hands on deck. We know Jon is telling the truth about the wildlings, so we need to be ready, and we need intel from Jon. So yeah. So we'll see where that goes, if there's any more conflict between Jon and Alistair. I would imagine there would be, because Alistair's a prick. Alistair Thorne is a prick and hates Jon. But yeah, so. And the last thing I wrote down was Arya. Yeah, that... we got another Arya and Hound killing people scene, which is always fun. Yeah, but man, she's starting to enjoy killing. But to be fair, she's very much been vengeance killing. That's the thing. Like, she killed those guys, or that one guy, for insulting her family, basically. And she killed this dude because he killed the one boy. Now, has she fully, like, got on board with, traveling with the Hound? Maybe, I don't know. I still think she's going to hold true to her word that she said in episode 9. I think she is going to kill him at some point. But that'll be a while from now. I imagine at this point she knows it's better to stay with him. And I guess their next stop is the Vale. Because that's what he said. He's trying to sell Arya and then get enough money and then just leave. Originally, the plan was to do that with Robb and Catelyn, but they're dead, so you can't do that. So the next thing would be to go to her aunt in the Vale, the wife of Jon Arryn. So yeah. But at the same time, she needs to go to Braavos. She needs to go to Braavos and meet with Jack and Hagar and learn crap. I want to see that happen, but yeah. I mean, I also want to see Daenerys in Westeros. I imagine it's going to be a while. But that's basically it. That's all I wrote. great episode. Excited for this season. Yeah, excited for, you know, new characters such as Prince Oberyn. It's gonna take me a bit to get that name, and yeah. It'll be interesting to see where this goes, especially because they keep saying that the war is over because Robb Stark is dead. But at the same time, because they say, like, Robb Stark is dead, Stannis Baratheon was defeated at the Blackwater. It's like, hold on. He was defeated. That doesn't mean the war's over. He can come back. He's still alive, and he's still going to challenge Joffrey and try to get the throne because he believes that he is the true heir to the throne, which he is, honestly. So, yeah, it'll be interesting to see where we go from here. Yeah, with all that being said, I'm Alex from 7th Hour Films, and I will see you guys next time. Take care. Alright guys, thanks for watching this video. If you want to watch more of my Game of Thrones reactions, you can click on the playlist, you can subscribe if you haven't done that already, and be sure you hit that notification bell. You can support me on Patreon, and you can follow me on social media, links below in the description. See you guys later.